Hey y'all, welcome to our recap. Ooh, we are on CP time. I need to stop saying 9. I need to start saying 9-ish.
Yeah.
But we are joined together once again to talk Harlem. It is an abbreviated season. I'm so sad. Like next week will be our last week doing this because it's
Really?
yeah. So this recap is for episodes 5 and 6. Next week it's 7 and 8. That's it. Or I should say this
What?
Friday 7 and 8. I know. Like the last season it was 10 episodes. Now it's only 8 episodes.
They
Dang. Your
tired of
your
Camille
ticker at
too.
the bottom says episode 3 and
Oh
4.
shit, let me fix it. God damn it. I should have paid attention. That was the
What is
one thing I
going
didn't look
on
at.
with these
But
eight
that's like
episodes?
you didn't
And
get
it's
your
not.
AirPods, huh?
I so I found some. I have some, but they iPhone ones. So I don't have the piece to put in the
It's okay. It's okay. We got next week to get it right. I'm just joking.
I'm gonna get my shit together. I promise you, I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna go to Pick and Save.
Pick and
Yeah.
say,
Yes.
yes.
$1. That's all you need. Anyways, okay. So let me introduce my girls. Hey, Season.
Hi.
Hey, Erica.
What's going on, boo?
Hey, newlywed, fresh off of her honeymoon, Ashley.
This
Oh my
girl.
god, I'm so happy this shit is over, y'all.
I
I'm ready to
know.
just be married, and get that
Mm.
marriage advice because I've been in the game and shit,
Yeah, that's right.
Give
You been in
marriage
the
advice.
game.
and blame shit on my husband. Nah, I can't go. My man said no, y'all.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at 'em.
Wow. You're already preparing to be trifling. Hey, S. Murphy.
That is not trifling.
What? You don't think it's trifling?
No. And then when you have kids, you blame them kids.
Now, kids are a
Yes.
get out of jail free card.
Yes, but
I
husbands
just be
are
like,
too.
I just be like, no, I can't make it. Like, that's it.
That's cute.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you getting all the blame.
Yeah, well, that's cool. He's gonna blame you, I'm sure, too, for some things. Okay, so let's get into it. Episodes 5 and 6. I mean, should we start at the end or nah? Like, or should we work
It
our way
doesn't
up to it?
matter.
Okay, let's just start with Camille because Camille, like, I between episodes 5 and 6, I was like, okay, I'm not hating Camille like these episodes, and then like the whole scene, like with her mom, I was like, okay, her mom is weird as fuck. Like, she lost her parent at a young age. Her mom obviously didn't handle it well, so like she has some kind of like mom issues, which I've kind of touched on a little bit before. So I was like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on Camille. And then she fucked it up at the end, and I was like, you know what, bitch, this is why nobody likes you. So who wants to? Let's start off with Erica. What is your take on Camille these past 2 episodes?
That deep eye roll I just gave. She absolutely always centers herself, and I knew that she was going to continue to follow the script to the letter, and she did that. And thinking about when they were at the brunch, and she, Ty, and Quinn were, she got the phone call from Dr. Pruitt, and so she's talking cash money shit about what she's not going to do. But of course, Camille picks up the phone, flips the script. Ty's like, what the fuck? Like, she flipped the script and bounced. So it's literally Camille's job, and Ian. Like, that is her world. And then her girls just kind of get in where they fit in. So I just continue to remain disappointed. I love the outfit, but I continue to remain disappointed and just disgusted by Camille.
Now hold on, I'm hearing something weird with the audio. Is it like a? Do you guys hear a jumping kind of a bloom? Bloom? Okay, I don't know which words are coming from, but okay, we're gonna work through it though. Okay, so for people that need to catch up, so what happened with Camille these past 2 episodes? Number one, Okay, it picks up.
You're like,
No.
what
Okay.
happened?
No, it picks up where it left off, where she's talking to Ty, and she reveals to Ty that, you know, her fertility results came back that she might have a low egg reserve. And Season is real nice. She can give the nurses and fertility perspective on that. And so she says, "Oh, I don't want to dump this on Ian." Ian walks up and is like, "Dump what on me?" And then they have this whole hilarious conversation. To me, it was funny about like periods and blood clots, because it's like, it is true. Like, men do not want to hear about periods. Like, honestly, I don't want to hear about periods either, but like, it's the most awkward thing in the world to talk about periods around men. And so, and then I thought, and you know, not to give Camille a lot of credit, but I did think the whole like anthropological thing, like about blood clots and shit that she ran into, like, I thought that was genius. But anyway, so that's that. So she kind of plays it off. Obviously, she's not telling Ian yet. She goes and does her lecture at Columbia. Jameson shows up. Turns out he put in both of them for a grant, which they get. She turns it down out of, I guess, respect for Ian or whatever. She doesn't really explain why. And she moves on. Ty tells her that she should tell Ian, like, she's holding secrets. She's not talking about her fertility. She's not talking about this visit. And that's not a good sign. So anyways, Dr. Pruitt, as Erica mentioned, calls up Camille. It's an emergency. She needs her to rush over. Camille rushes over. She forgets her phone at home, which leads Ian to come to the apartment and see a text message from Jameson. He meets up with Jameson, I guess, on some like bravado, like leave my bitch alone shit, and finds out that that, you know, she had turned down a grant. He thinks that she should work with him. And so they have a meeting of the minds, and I guess Camille decides to work with Jameson, and somehow she ends up in fucking bed with Jameson. So that's Camille's arc overall. Ashley, what you got?
She's stupid. I hate Camille. I really think that this was so dumb.
Yeah.
And it's honestly what made me upset about it was that it was predictable. Like, you could tell when she first met up with him that they gonna end up fucking by the end of these two episodes, or at least by the end of the season. Like, you could just
You thought so?
Yes. When
I thought it was predictable from the moment where they're sitting like in his living room and she's like, "Yeah, let's start working right now." I was like, this is not going to end well. I don't know if I saw it coming before.
When she turned him down, I'm like, okay, she turned him down, which means she's going to end up working with him, you know, and then it's going to come a complication, which is going to be them sleeping together. But it was predictable. And it was like, why are you guys dragging this lame ass story along? It's just, I don't like it. I'm not here for Camille and what she got going on. And Ian's a bitch, because any man that walks out, he walked out of the apartment when they were in the middle of an argument or in the middle of a conversation and he just walks out. That's bitch behavior. That's that's bitch behavior, because they weren't really going back and forth. And I can understand he having feelings about her keeping secrets. He's upset and all of that. Unless you feel you about to punch this woman in the face, you should be able to sit there and have some level of conversation, or at least say, you know what, I'm really not feeling this right now and I need to go. But him just getting up and storming out, that's a bitch move. Straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, Season, what do you think so too, Erica? Okay, Season, what do you? Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I think Jameson a bitch too. Like, isn't it kind of predatory to be that persistent on a bitch with a man that y'all just broke up? You know that there's a lot of shit going on, and she's very flighty and never really has her shit together. So you like them wanting to work together. Okay, that's cool, but that could have been an email. You know, you don't have to show up to her job. You know, y'all don't have to meet up at a bar to talk about it. Y'all also don't have to fucking meet up at night and put no playlist on and shit to kick it. Like, you know, so it just all seems kind of like suspect to me on Jameson's behalf as well. They're all idiots to me, to be honest. Y'all know this is the least interesting storyline to me. She's the most annoying character. What I will touch on as far as her character is concerned, the whole fertility thing, of course, I've had my bouts with that. I have a very low AMH, and to me, it's just kind of. I feel like
And for those that don't know, I know, but I want to make sure you know. So what is that?
it's called anti-Mullerian hormone. I believe that's the name of it, but it's just kind of indicative of, the egg quality that you have left.
Mhm.
And mine is low, but I still had two pretty successful IVF rounds. I had my first son naturally with a low AMH. So I kind of wish they would just, if they're going to bring topics like this up, just be a tad bit more responsible with it and not just go off the deep end like, yeah, I don't know if I can have kids because this one hormone is low. That's not necessarily the case, but that's just me being, me going through that and actually knowing what's up. But and then her mom has a fucking mental issue.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
They kind of just made her mom seem like she's just too busy or flaky. No, that bitch crazy. Something's wrong with her. And,
right.
I'm really like, are we just gonna gloss over this, or what's the tea? I didn't know her dad was dead. So it's just like, I kind of feel like if they want us to be invested, especially in her character being she's so annoying, like, give us a little bit more, like a touch more. But I did think it was funny. She took her grown ass over there for her birth certificate.
Yeah, that is such a black thing.
You are grown.
Yeah.
What are you doing? But the mama had it. She had it right there with some pictures of the daddy. So I don't know. I just like, I'm interested in seeing how they're going to wrap all this shit up so quickly in 2 more episodes.
Well, it's not going to be wrapped up. It's just going to be like a shit show, as always with Camille. But you make a good point, Season, because I feel like with Harlem, they usually I feel like they've done a really excellent job of bringing up topics in a way that's not cliche. It's not super like on the nose, and it's not necessarily something that always gets addressed. Hold on. Sorry. And I feel like, I don't feel like the show is really cliche. I feel like it really expands kind of different perspectives of Black women, and for their entire choice for Camille to be focused on like this Ian versus Jameson thing, I think it's so reductive. Like, what is her future career path going to look like? Like, what is her fertility process going to look like? What is it like having a parent that has a mental illness? Like, I feel like those would have been really interesting things to explore, as opposed to just like this back and forth, like Ian and like Jameson both vying for her. I just think that was like an easy way out, and it really resulted in an incredibly unlikable character. And I really liked Camille the first season. This season, like, I'm just so fucking over her. I have really nothing for her. She's like the weakest link on, and it's not Megan Good, it's not her acting, but I just think that they have completely run her character into the ground.
Yeah, I agree. I just need a little bit more on this shit they're bringing up. Like, give me something with this girl. Give me something.
The question stands, like, what would make this character better? Like, what can they do at this point to save Camille?
Well, I think maybe
she needs some depth.
Yeah,
she's very surface. She has all this shit going on, but she's very surface. Like, it's like she doesn't sit down and focus on anything for longer than 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need a scene like with Quinn walking through Central Park and shit, depressed and crying. Like, does she sit down and think ever? No. It's like she just keeps going and going like a rat in a wheel. Like, sit down, baby girl. Think this shit out, baby, because you're not making no sense. You have your mama. You got this dude. You just broke up his marriage. You got this other dude who Jameson officially. Like I said, he's officially suspect to me. I'm just like, you got to sit down. What's going on? Have a seat. Think.
Well, remember, Jameson is the guy who like stalked her fucking Instagram and like planned a whole date around, around her, and pretended like it was just all spontaneous, like he didn't know shit. I'm hesitant to call him predatory, but I do feel like I feel like you guys are being too hard on Ian though. Like
I don't care about Ian.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's good to storm out on people. However, like Camille is wrong as fuck. And I feel like he gives her a lot of grace. Like the fact that, like, you know, she doesn't tell him shit like this. They blew up his life together, but he's really all in. Like Camille gave up nothing to be with Ian. You know, she just like fell into his arms and like broke up with the guy that she had barely been seeing, who was fucking moving anyway, to her knowledge. So he's really given up a lot. And obviously he's harbored these really deep feelings for her for all these years. And I feel like he's giving her a lot of grace and a lot of understanding. And she's not being on the up and up. Like it's, and she's doing shit that's suspect without fucking even, you know, that she's making a suspect because she's not talking about it. Like she could have easily just been like, oh, you know, Jameson stopped by to offer me this and the other. I told him no. And like, it wouldn't have been a thing. So I don't blame him for his frustration, but he does always come back and give her grace. And I just think that she just makes a lot of dumbass moves, and most people would have been done with her ass by then. So for Ian and Jameson to both be up her ass, to me, that's unrealistic. But I do wonder, like, is it like bad editorial choices, or is it intentional to be like Camille is that girl that always got a lot of shit going on? Like, you know how you be like, you got a lot going on. Like you have that one friend that just got a lot of shit going on and you like, girl, get it together. And they don't, and they never will. Like maybe she's that girl and it's just we haven't, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Or you just think it's
I think that perhaps if they're going to tie in her mother maybe having a diagnosis, that is the reason that Camille is the way that she is, because we've been seeing a lot of the mothers being raised in these past few episodes. So
yeah,
we're able to see the relationship between Angie and her mom, Quinn and her mom, because I found it really interesting, and it just continues to make sense with Quinn, how when they were at the Pride event, and her mom was at a booth that was being hosted by Isabella, because of course politicians are all in it for themselves. Like there's a level of ego that a person must have in order to be a politician. So of course she's there at the event, and her mom is there running a booth, and her mom is there giving people hugs. And so when Quinn's like, yeah, mom, can I get a hug? She's like, you know, like, I'll give you one next weekend. Like, what? So like her mom is always full on shading her. She's very much so about how things are presented and how they look. And so Ty says, I'll give you a hug. So now us being able to see Camille's mom, where Camille's mom is completely wrapped up in herself, that after her father's passing, she really, like, children be damned. She operates fully out of feeling, and we would talk about that, like with the amygdala part of her brain. So she just that is how she operates. So to me, seeing that, if they would embrace that, and I believe that you all brought that up before, like, but if they would fully embrace that, I think that would be a little bit of salvation for Camille's character, and then really explain things around mental disease, mental illness, instead of, oh, you know, I'm feeling away. We're seeing Quinn, as I was talking about when we did this recap last time. Okay, here we are. There are real underlying issues. If things can look away, fuck what it looks like.
Yeah.
You have to see what's kind of going on inside of the sauce. So, I mean, it looks like depression for Quinn. And so if things do hold the way that we're seeing with Camille's mom, then you all are saying, like, we all have that friend, that could actually be a diagnosis that has gone undiagnosed, which manic depressive disorder runs rampant in the Black community. It's not diagnosed, but
totally
it does.
Manic.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though that does not make any fucking sense at all. How did this bitch end up in bed with Jameson? Like
that playlist, bitch.
What playlist? He had music on. I didn't
on the she's like the famous Camille playlist. Okay, bitch, you're fucking crazy, bitch.
But she woke up like she didn't know. Like she woke up like she may have gotten drunk the night before and ended up in bed with him. That's how she woke up. Like, oh shit, I'm here. You know. So I don't know if she was I don't. Jameson is suspect, especially because he was definitely a stalker before. You know, he may be fine, but he's a stalker. And now his actions with getting her back and getting her in bed, it really didn't seem out of character for him to pop up because he clearly does that shit. You know?
Here's the thing. So she showed up at Ian's restaurant as it was closing. So it's what, 8, 9 o'clock at night?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, I agree. I'm going to go ahead and work with Jameson. Then they cut to the next scene. She's in the same outfit. She must be at Jameson's house because he in a wife beater. So why you go over there that late at night to start working? And then you put on a playlist. It's a setup. And she, you know, so it's like they're both just Jameson. And if Jameson was really trying to keep it professional and dapped it up with Ian, and he wouldn't even let. Well, if he was like, "Whoa, you want to start working right now?" So he kind of was like, "This ain't right." But he clearly was like, "Fuck it, if she gonna throw it, I'm gonna catch it." So you know, it's just like, no.
But we can't answer this because we're not in the writer's room. But why? Like, what was the reason? Like, it still makes
she got a mental illness. Something wrong with that girl.
That has to be because I'm just confused. I don't understand. This is so fucking left field for me. It's so left
next
field.
Episode, she gonna be crying in, talking about she was just still so overwhelmed by visiting her mama and this happened. Girl, I already know what she gonna say. He needs to leave. But what I was gonna say, you give men way too much credit. Yeah, he's definitely patient with her, but him kicking her to the curb, men don't really be like, you know what, something ain't right with this pretty ass bitch. Let me leave her alone. You know, they don't do that. So you giving Ian too much credit, baby, because
Karina says just finished episode 6 in WTF.
And what the fuck? Yeah.
No, but like
I too much credit.
I just have to harp on this for one more minute because like it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense at all. Like this makes no sense to me. None. Like maybe they're gonna do a flashback and be like, yeah, you know, she's so head over heels for Ian. Ian is so head over heels for her.
You broke up their marriage. Like bitch, you did that, girl. You did.
It's just like this makes sense. This would make sense if this were like fucking Young and the Restless or some shit, or if this were like, you know, a TV show like How to Get Away with Murder or something like Shonda Rhimes where you have 26 episodes or whatever. But like, this is the choice that you want to make. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. S. Murphy says, I think she was dreaming and they didn't do nothing. I'm hoping like that. Please, 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 please. At the beginning of the next episode, it's like she like wakes up, she looks over and she sees Jameson, and then she like does a double take and it's actually Ian. Like
I will fucking punch her through my TV.
No, I will forgive. I will forgive that
time for these insecure-ish tropes. Okay?
No, because that's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid.
You fucking punch that bitch through my TV, nigga.
That would make more sense than what we just saw. I'm sorry. It's unhinged to have her character do this out of left field. Like this is completely fucking left field.
And she wasn't there for her girls. Like Quinn was in a real desperate moment, and he is not there. The narcissist is not there again. Like
that's true.
Go sit on it.
Why aren't you by your phone? I'm sure Ian would have been up her ass and around the corner, like, "Hey, where you at? What's going on?" Like, you know, like I don't know. This is just not making sense to me. It pisses me off, but. Fuck Camille, like I don't even know if I just might want to skip her shit like for the rest of the season. Like I don't even want to see anything about her. I'm not invested. If you're gonna do stupid shit with the character, like it's a comedy, so to some degree you do stupid shit with characters, but like this is fucking stupid. So I just had to like.
It's upsetting to me and my homegirls.
It
is because you're doing such a great job with Angie and Quinn. And even Ty got
tired.
You know, like you're doing such a great job with Angie is a 10 out of 10 character for me. The way
Yeah,
they show her family, how she acts, she's 10 out of 10. So it's like, you need to borrow the writers that's working on Angie and let them handle Camille for the rest of the shit. Because I ain't saying folks need to be losing their job or nothing, but they clearly need more supervision on this shit because it's not easy.
They need peer review.
I think that's the frustration for me. You're doing so well. Why you fucking it up with Megan Good? Megan ass Good. Come on now. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all
Thank
tripping.
you. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, the show is so fucking good, except for this big glaring ass shithole in the middle of the show. And it's just like, I was on board with Camille for 99% of these. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I swear to God, I was like, you stupid ass dumb bitch. What are you doing? Like, it's just like, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it because the show is so fucking good otherwise. It's so good. And then it's just like, Camille is neurotic. Camille is a fucking narcissist. Camille is a lot of things, but this is a level of unhinged that just, even for her, does not make any sense. It does not make
white woman unhinged shit.
Yeah.
It is. Not thinking about anything, consequences, just acting off the cuff. Out here crying over bullshit. Yeah, this some white woman.
She weird. She acting up. Like I can't even defend her on any circumstances.
Oh, but can we just want Dr. Pruitt's brownstone, the inside?
Oh yeah. But what did you think? What did you guys think about Dr. Pruitt? I mean, she's a bitch. But I did kind of like that they gave her a little bit more depth. Like she was up shit creek with the whole fucking assistant and then having to go before the dean, and then her kid doesn't want any parts of her. I thought it was interesting too how she was like, oh, it's not a criticism. Like her kid picks up on the same energy that like Camille picks up on. So I thought it was interesting. And because she was kind of bullying Camille, like I wasn't like totally like opposed to her, but I don't know. I still feel like she's a bitch.
She's a bitch. And I can't understand why. I mean, I get that she, probably had to fight for her position all her life type shit. It took a lot to get there. So you have a tougher skin, that strong woman and stuff with it. And then on top of the fact your kid don't really fuck with you. So I can understand maybe like 15 to 20% of her being a bitch. But the rest of it just seems so unnecessary. But then you have to factor in Camille's annoying as fuck. You have those people that are so annoying that it's like, I have to be mean to you because that's what your frustration is doing to me type of shit. So it's like,
But I mean, aside from Camille fucking her co-grant writer or whatever, she is good at her job. Like she did come in there. She came up with a new idea last minute. She saved the day. Like she did show up for her more so than Quinn and everybody else. But I mean, I feel like it's a little over the top in how she treats Camille, because at the end of the day, Camille is good at her job. And it's okay. To me, I think that's the one area where I like that she doesn't necessarily fit the mold of like what a professor is or what a professional is. But she's still good at her job. And I think that would be a little bit more interesting to explore, other than like Camille's so fucking annoying and Dr. Pruitt can't stand her. I don't know.
But you know what I peeped when she was on the phone with her child, she kept saying, "You're talking so fast. I can't understand." Yeah. And that just immediately brought me to Camille. Like, no wonder she's so irritated with Camille all the time. She can barely get a word in when she's talking to this girl. And her own child treats her the same exact way. So I think it's like a transference of emotion there, where she just kind of she like Camille's almost a representation of her child, who like she want to be bothered with her child. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Angela. So I was just like, that's why Dr. Pruitt is so rude to Camille, because she clearly reminds her of her child, and they have a strained relationship.
Yeah.
That brownstone is dope as fuck. I was looking at all the paintings. I was like, please let us stay over so I can see some more of this artwork. Nice. Oh my God.
But I will say something that was a little out of sync is, Dr. Pruitt has this level of professionalism that she demands, but yet she lets Camille take the fall for her fuck up. Like, to me, that didn't seem consistent with her character. But I don't know, maybe it's just like realistic for academia. You're like, all right, bitch, if you'll take the fall, cool. Like, I ain't mad at that, but I don't know. Was that a little weird for y'all or no?
Well, it never said if they went through with it or not. So,
she said it. Well, Camille said it was brutal with the dean. So
yeah,
okay.
So it happened. And to me, it kind of fit the profile of Camille's personality, being so willing to be a suck up. Like I said, like it's Camille's career, Ian. Like that is her stratosphere, and then her girlfriends kind of fall in line where they could. So I was like, yeah, this is typical Camille behavior. Now you're going to fall on the sword, be available, take all of that shit from Dr. Pruitt. Where at Columbia, where you're not interested in being tenured, you say anymore, but you don't have that same level of vulnerability for your girls. Like these are the folks that hold you down. So I was all for Dr. Pruitt giving her the business.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't feel sorry for Camille because she's fucking flighty. She's a lot of really negative things. I can forgive some things, but she has too much going on. And I'm just like, bitch, you're no. But okay, let's see. And Karina says these women are in their 30s. Camille's too old for this shit. Yeah, I mean, in real life, Megan Good is like 40 something. She's our age. So yeah, she needs to grow the fuck up. Okay. But anyways, I don't know what's going to happen with her the last 2 episodes. It's gonna be I swear to God, I'm not fucking sitting through a scene of her talking about cheating on Ian. I'm not sitting through a scene of her fucking telling Ian. I'm done with Camille for the rest of the fucking season. So next recap, I'm done with her.
Watch her get pregnant.
I was thinking that she's gonna get fucking pregnant.
Little Miss Low AMH. Watch her get pregnant. I'm fucking gonna punch her through my TV.
I am done with Camille. Period.
Yikes, nigga.
Listen, she was where we were last 2 episode recaps. Like
that's true. You guys have hated fucking Camille like all season. I've been like, I'm rooting for her. Yeah. I'm done with this bitch. Because it fucking pisses me off. This was stupid. It was unnecessary. This is up there with me to like them killing off the bishop on Greenleaf. That was so fucking unnecessary.
He was so mad.
It was emotional. I cried.
Me too. I was like, how the fuck we made it this far and you kill off the bishop? How fucking dare you?
They had to kill him off.
No, they did not. They did not have to kill off the bishop. No,
definitely not.
Really take over the church. And have that respect, that nigga had to go. He had to die.
No.
And this is why women don't need to lay down their identities for anything. Keep your fucking identity, because the bitch was always in competition with her husband. You don't have to do that. Be you. Don't stop being you because you're incompetent.
Yeah, she did what she had to do. She the last one standing. That nigga in the grave.
He in the grave.
Man. Nah, man.
Don't have to do that. I'm with you, Reese. I was crying.
Yeah, I was so mad at the bishop. I was so mad at the bishop.
Holy Spirit,
raised him.
I'm gonna tell you who got it right. Queen Sugar. Queen Sugar got to the end. They didn't kill off Prosper during COVID. They didn't kill off any of the major characters. That's how you fucking do it, okay? And I'm just done. I am fucking done.
Nova with the white man, it's not it. That's not it. That should not have been it. No.
I'm okay with that. As opposed to what just happened on this show with Camille. I'm not okay with that. Karina says she actually got her man back and still playing the damn fool. Man, fuck Camille. I'm done too, Reese. Thank you. Brown and Pretty says I'm going to be pissed if Camille's up with Jameson. Fucking pissed. But even if Here's the thing
Yeah,
Here's the thing that pisses me off too. Even if she didn't sleep with him, just the fact that she was in bed, like, okay, this will be the only way that can get me back on their side. But I don't think it's going to happen because Jameson is definitely out for revenge. And I definitely think he's going to blow up her spot. But the only thing is, bitch, take that shit to your fucking grave. You do not fucking say anything. I know I said say this. You be transparent when you haven't done anything wrong. When you've done something wrong, fucking deny. That
That's
would be
politics.
my advice for my friend. I'd be like,
That is
"Bitch,
definitely
you better the
politics.
fuck not admit to that shit." Does he
He
have
got a
proof?
picture. Jameson, the type of nigga that'll take a picture.
I definitely feel like this. See, Karina says, and she agrees with you. She's gonna be pregnant, and I'm not willing to do this for the last 2 episodes. I'm not doing it with her. I don't give a fuck what happens with Camille. I'm not sitting through any scenes. You guys are gonna have to talk about it amongst yourselves.
Oh, I'm pregnant. I thought I couldn't have babies, guys. What's going on? How am I going to tell Ian? Whose baby is it? Oh my God. What about Columbia? What am I going to do? I can see.
I'm not doing it. I'm not. I refuse.
She's going to find out she's pregnant on the Puerto Rico girls trip.
I'm
Ew!
not willing.
First of all, fuck Camille.
I'm calling it right now. She's finding out she's pregnant on the Puerto Rican girls trip.
That's gonna be.
She should not be
now
invited.
You bringing your shit to everybody. Now you taking over Quinn's trip with your bullshit.
Yeah, we're not
Okay,
doing
let's
it.
go to
We're
another character
not
because
doing it.
Camille is making me. Yeah, can we go to somebody?
We're getting mad. Let's move on.
Okay, okay. So let's just talk about this girl trip real quick. Not to talk about it in depth, but Puerto Rico, like
Puerto Rico's trash, y'all. I'm sorry. When they said Puerto Rico, I was like, what the fuck?
Puerto Rico makes sense when you're dressed out of fucking undergrad, but like, bitch, you have a fucking millionaire friend who has a fucking successful app and an amazing fucking like apartment. No, bitch, we're going somewhere fucking luxurious. I mean, at least upgrade to Aruba. Like the fuck,
The Maldives. I mean,
yeah.
let's do this. I mean, yeah, they would say, yeah, bitch, we
Dubai, something.
Spend that money and take your friend on a bomb ass fucking trip because she clearly needs
Yeah,
it.
just say
Even Costa Rica, like there's so many fucking places. Like Puerto Rico, like come on, no
Nigga,
fucking.
I'll take Tulum over that shit.
Yes,
Cancun, something.
Mexico.
Puerto Rico, no,
Jamaica,
that's not the move.
something. Quinn is
I
fucking
could
Jamaica.
go to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you can do
I love
Hawaii.
beautiful ways. I love Hawaii.
Yeah, that black
Waikiki
sand,
Beach.
man, anywhere but Texas.
I love Hawaii.
You're in Texas, so you're like, I just need to get the fuck out.
Like Puerto
Okay.
Rico.
All I have to say is, I'm not saying I would run my rich friends' pockets, but I'm already not rich. But you can't tell me shit about like traveling. I'm like, bitch, no, like we're going somewhere fucking nice, like like whatever.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
the money.
Yeah, come on, get it the fuck together. But I always thought that was like a little like ratchet. I mean, because remember when Quinn was looking up places, she was like looking up lakefront properties, and then like France was popping up and shit. So I'm like, how the fuck did we get to Puerto Rico? Like, come on. But anyways, okay, so let's talk about we always save her for last, so let's reverse it. Let's talk about Angie these past 2 episodes. We didn't get enough Angie for my taste, but let's start from the beginning. So Angie reveals to Quinn, who is still like suppressing, but obviously going through some shit, that she is subletting her ex-boo's apartment for, I don't know, 10 weeks, however many weeks. And she has a gig, so she's moving out. And I get that Quinn is going through some things, but I felt like, you know, that was kind of fucked up how she kind of like shit all over Angie's like big moment. Like, I think Angie deserved, like, Angie doesn't get a lot of wins. So I feel like she deserves somebody to be like genuinely happy for her with the whole, like, she has a guy she's excited about. She has a new place. She has a job. Like, I feel like Quinn was whack as fuck for that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah.
And
I was pissed.
yeah, I liked how she handled it. Like, you know, bitch, you're tripping. Bye, go be a bitch on your own, and she did.
She sure
With her suitcase. She took her suitcase.
Eric took her suitcase, so I appreciate that she did that. Because you don't have to put up with that shit.
And it was a nice suitcase too. Like
Gucci. It was Gucci.
she'd be punking the fuck out of Quinn. But like, yeah, I like that Angie's like, you're not gonna steal my joy, bitch. I'm out, you know? And so and I didn't remember the guy's name. Apparently his name is Mike. How are we feeling about Mike? Is he the real deal or what? What do you guys think?
I love it. I love the connection that they have. She's not being who she's not. And y'all, that running scene, whenever we
So
talk,
funny.
no, I was in there hollering, full Georgia holler going on. I was screaming. I was like, this is so black. But yeah, Mike, I love, she calls him Mikey, which I think is so cute. I love Mike for Angie and Angie for Mike.
Yes. You know, I'm Season, don't call me male identifying, okay? But I was a little pissed at Angie for blowing Mike off over, you know, the whole thing with her hair. Like, I get it. You know, Owen did a whole fucking like 8-episode miniseries about hair and shit, whatever. You know, so it's that to me was on the nose. Like, I'm sorry, but Angie has this big fabulous fucking hair. She came in there with I don't know what the fuck she had going on. Like her hair didn't look fucked up like that before. And then she got all like sensitive about it. That to me was completely like, I'm not buying that. But then I feel like, okay, if a man showed up for you, you dropped obviously very strong hints, which he caught on his birthday. I think she should have been like, I think that it was fucked up for her to blow him off. Like, even though she was going through something, I don't think it justified it. Okay, Season, what do you think?
I agree with you. I was disappointed. I was like, come on, Angie. You know you can go to this man's birthday party. I mean, your hair, figure that shit out. First of all, I wouldn't let a male colored woman touch my hair anyway. So I'm just not understanding why she didn't just like figure that shit out or be like, okay, girl, I got it, you know. So to me, that was kind of weird, you know, but I guess they had to kind of throw a little self-sabotage in there for Angie.
That's maybe what it is.
But, you know, I guess with me, I kind of don't. With me, I like to know how much time has gone by. So if we're talking like 3 days and this nigga's like, oh, I can't have my birthday without you. I'm very skeptical. I do not trust niggas at all. I question everything. So
this is not Tyler Perry. So it's not like each episode is 24 hours later.
But I do like him. I love the way he dotes on her and compliments her. And clearly, like, you know, when he was set up with Quinn, or they attempted to set him up with Quinn, he had like a vibe and a confidence and sense of humor that really wouldn't have worked out with her. So I definitely think him and Angie are a good match. And then, you know, that chocolate on chocolate, they cute. His hair is, y'all already know what I said about the hair.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You got the fanned out, girl. But Mikey and Angie, let's do it. Let's see what happens.
I didn't notice his hair this episode, so
it wasn't that bad.
Okay, I think they might have like unexaggerated the bad.
They did a little because on that golf course, I was like, what is this?
Terrible.
Like a girl. Y'all gotta go back to this shit because he had a little straight little 4C curl. 4C and I was like, this man is making a statement, bitch, with that hair. That's it.
That's what made me think he was gay, though. I'm like, his hair got a little sugar in it. That's not. Nah.
You know what? I wonder if this is like black men trying to make this a thing, because on Ready to Love, one of the guys, he has a little bang.
I can't do the bang, y'all.
Wait a minute, Reese. That dude has several hairstyles.
He does.
He got the bang. He got a ponytail.
Yes.
I need to watch Ready to Love.
Ready to Love, what city?
That's on.
It's Miami. It's airing right now. I think honestly, I'm not mad at it because here's the thing. I think if we talk about loving black hair, I think that men should have grace as well to have a little bayang. If they want to have a little mini bun, like Ava, she has these little Afro puffs, they're little curly Afro puffs. But if you want to have a little Afro puff right here in a little bayang, and you're a guy, go for it. I don't think that you should have to have like Jason Momoa hair to have like a man bun or to have fabulous flowing locks. I think that if men want to do this, I'm here for it.
Okay, so CJ said he want to grow his hair. You gotta go through the stages.
Yeah, you gotta get there.
You support him? What you doing?
CJ is balding a little bit, so he couldn't.
He can have a bang. You didn't send him to the hairdresser.
No, if he got it,
you know what? My baby has a ducktail and it's long.
It's
and
so
curly,
cute,
and it got a hang time. So I'm gonna be so sad when he want to cut it. But my baby got a ducktail, so I'm all for that. I would take his bang over like that shit Jay-Z got on his head. Like these thick dookie dreads and stuff. Like if it's kept well and looks groomed and it's making a statement, I'm for men getting into hair care for sure. But
I like the variety of it. I don't care what you got going on. If you're making it a thing and you do it with style, it may not be like a style I would choose, but I think that Jay-Z, I kind of like his hair.
I love Jay-Z's hair.
You do?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, honestly, like I've been growing my hair for 20 years. My hair has been down past my butt to my waist, and I've just cut it. Like I had 9 inches cut like 2 years ago. They're back. So, I mean, it's my fucking hair. Mm-hmm. I love it. Like later in life, if I'm still locking, I'm definitely going to make them bigger. To me, like, what's on your head, as long as you like it, I love it. Mm-hmm. But I love Jay-Z's hair. And I forgot the kind of locks. Of course it is. And it probably smells real good too.
Maybe I have to see them locks on a more attractive person.
I'm gonna tell you what's weird. Like my algorithm for some reason is showing me like men and women actually to some. Oh, you know what it was? Now I just figured it out. So there was this girl. She was taking out her locks, and she was, but not everybody is doing a big chop. Some people are like actually
combing their locks out.
Yeah. So I followed her, and now I'm seeing all these videos of like guys getting their locks chopped and like their hairstyle afterwards. Some people are wearing curly tops, some people are wearing a fade, and I was like, why am I seeing all of these videos now? Like normally I'm seeing like trim videos and like other like hair weave videos and shit, and like now all of a sudden I'm seeing all these lock videos, but now I'm connecting the dots of why I see it. But hey, at the end of the day, if you like it, like Erica says, I love it. The one thing I will say about this guy, I thought it was hilarious. On his page, he posted that somebody said he looks like Frederick Douglass with his hair. So I love that the actor, like he has self-awareness and he's owning it and he's embracing it. So I did not intend for this to be that long of a discussion about his hair. But anyways, but I didn't notice his hair that much this episode. So I don't know if they just pushed it more over. Sometimes we have a full swoop and sometimes it's back here. Maybe he just wasn't feeling that dramatic that day. But anyways, okay. But one thing I will say, I did like that he showed up, on his birthday. And not you raggedy bitch. It kind of reminded me of Wedding Dress Hell, except for it was like had a good plot twist.
Raggedy bitch. Don't you come up here.
Yeah, that's iconic. But when he was like happy birthday to me, I was like, okay, is he like drunk and pissed and irate? Is he a fucking psycho? Is he a serial killer? Oh my god, Angie, run. But he was just like, oh, this was so important to me, I wanted to spend the time with you. And I'm like, Angie deserves.
Yeah, she does.
I really am enjoying the buildup of them. Even though it's fast, it really does feel great when you really realize like this is somebody I can really fuck with. So I'm glad to see this for Angie. Absolutely, he wanted some birthday sex too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, he already had
Did.
birthday sex for the record because they did it in the trailer, so he didn't have to come back for that.
Oh, that's right, for lunch.
That's right. But I'm gonna be sad
for Mikey.
if they fuck this storyline up and make him out to be like an asshole or something like that. Like, I'm gonna be sad because they're doing so well and they're so compatible. They're so compatible.
And she's not changing herself, and I love that. She's being 100% Angie. Like,
yeah, she come with it. She got that wit. She's I love Angie.
And that was kind of one of those things that I mean, I know Quinn was going through her fucking shit, but like when he was like, she was like, oh, that's not gonna last, and being very dismissive of her. Like, I like that with Angie. They are really giving her a lot of range instead of pigeonholing her into like the girl that just has sex with any random stray that she finds, which is okay if that's what she wants to do. She's grown, she's a consenting adult. But I like that they're showing like even that woman deserves, and I'm not saying that my perspective is even, but society perspective, you know, of saying like, hey, if you want to go out there and fuck and do your thing, cool. If you want to like settle down with a guy who's like seems like he's got it together and he's into you, that's cool too. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. So I love that her character really kind of shows the range, because everybody else is kind of like a little more narrow. Like, I'm not gonna even talk about Camille, I'm done with her. Ty still has her lane, you know, in terms of like being a womanizer of sorts. And then Quinn is like whatever the fuck Quinn is doing. So I feel like with Angie, she really does run a lot more of the spectrum of the kind of experiences that you get.
And just to be quick, just real quick, like we don't get to see that with Black women. We see that with white women all the time. And then these women go on to be senators, to be Congress people, CEOs. And it's like they had very, very prominent whole years. And they're able to flip it and be like, oh, this is me. So I love that we're on this journey with Angie as a Black woman, as you said, Reese, a consenting adult. These are decisions she's making, but you know, the dude she's with now, fucking Yale graduate, 40 under 40 for real estate. Like,
that's
exactly.
Right. Super successful.
Absolutely. Like, this is white girl shit 101 all day long. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let's be, he don't care how much money she make. He do not give a fuck about what she bring to the table. You don't hear him saying no stupid Kevin Samuel shit. You hear him just like, I just want to be around you. I just want to spend time with you. I like how you make me feel. Like, that's what real dating is out here in these streets, besides niggas coming up talking about, well, what you bring to the table. You do this, you cook, you clean. Like, nigga, go suck a dick with all this.
Thank you.
You're a female. You're a female.
And thank you.
You know, I had this. I another lifetime ago, I did have a blog, and I published a post, and I called it "Bare Minimum Men," right? And this wasn't like a dig at men, but my theory was that with men, they have a bar that they set for whatever. Some of them is high, some of it is low, and all you have to do is clear that bar as a woman, and then like, okay. Check, you know, and as women, sometimes, at least I would say this, I won't speak for a lot of women, but in my earlier years, before I figured this shit out, you know, you think like, I'm super pretty, I'm super successful, I'm this, I'm that, and you think like, I'm way above the bar for a lot of people. But the reality is men don't give a fuck. It's like, do you meet my bar? If you like, if my bar is like, you have two legs and you can walk. It doesn't matter if like this bitch has a Ferrari and that bitch is at the bus stop. It doesn't matter. He's like, as long as you can walk to the car, I'm cool. I'm just throwing out examples, you know? And so I feel like, you know, a lot of people that put a lot of stock into like their pedigree or into like, well, I do this checklist of 100 things. Like, it doesn't fucking matter to these guys. It only matters what their minimum is, that you meet that. And once you meet that, you're golden. And so I'm not saying that Angie is minimum or anything like that. But what I'm saying is like, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't think that like you have to like strive for the fucking stars, because at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if this guy, if whatever his standards are, as long as you meet them and he meets yours, be clear, then that's all you need.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. Well,
I agree.
well.
You know,
And look at Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels talked all that shit about what do you call
where
it?
we
Was
at
it?
now?
I wasn't gonna say that part, but I was gonna
Having a meeting with Jesus.
but he talked all that shit about was it nurses that he hated, and he was fucking a
He hated
nurse.
nurses?
Yeah,
Damn.
He hated nurses.
What?
he hated nurses and he hated women with kids. And like the chick was a woman who had a child, I believe, and she was a nurse.
And he
And he died on top of her. That's crazy.
He did. He did.
Y'all,
Incels baby daddy talking
I
to
don't
Jesus
know
right
why
now.
he hated nurses.
I don't know. That's so
was his
specific.
mama a nurse? I'm not understanding. Okay.
I think his thing was nurses think they too independent. Like, they don't have a lot of time for men and they make good money, so they're just assholes.
And you know what? To tie that to Bite Size Brandon, who I was giving the business, Ty's ex-husband.
Oh
I
gosh.
think
Okay,
if
yeah, let's move
more
on.
men would have that cathartic moment and just be honest about, bitch, I hated you because you were more successful than me. I hated you because you left me. Like, say that and get the help that you need so you don't turn into the daddy of incels. Like, that is the kind of shit. I was just like, finally, because I was ready to like have goons come see you, Brandon. So I am so happy he had his moment where he was honest about why he did what he did with Ty.
I'm glad that they both had that moment because I understand Ty's perspective. Like, fuck you. I don't want to fucking talk shit to you. You're after my money. Like, fuck off. Eat shit, die. Like, I get that. But like the fact that they had that, like, well, it was more so her dragging the shit out of him. Like, I did appreciate that. I felt kind of bad though, because I was like, damn, I don't hate Brandon anymore. And it's only been 3 seconds. Like, I felt, did he get off easy with that scene? Or like, what do you guys think?
Nope, he tore that check up, so he good with me.
Period.
You tore the check up and you said what you honestly feel, you good. Because you're taking accountability. That's the biggest thing. It's like, yes, everybody fucks up. We are all human. But what are you doing after you fuck up and you realize it's a fuck up? What are you doing next? Are you apologetic? Are you genuine? Do you recognize what you did? And I feel like that really gave both of them like a moment of closure. But for me, I'm happy she got her money back because
period.
A meal? You got a meal off me? Come on now.
And you only have $2 million. Like, it's one thing if I have 11 million, I got to give you one. Like Chris Rock said.
Yeah.
It's like, if you make 10 million and you got to give her 5, big deal. You ain't solving. If you make 70,000 and you got to give her 35.
Straight up.
I'm sorry. If I have 2 million and I have to give you 1 million,
I'd be overly pissed. So the fact that the first thing he did was tear that check up, that made me think, okay, maybe whatever he's saying after is genuine. Because if he would have came, said all that mess, and then still kept the check, or Ty had to ask him to tear up the check, that would be a different story. So he cool with me.
To be fair to Brandon, she was the one who brought up money first. And I think that he did want to have that conversation and kind of have that cathartic moment. And she was just like, what are you after? You after my money? And she did act like a bitch to him. And so he saw it through like, well, fuck you then, bitch. And he thought he was going to feel better. But then he felt like a piece of shit because Ty can definitely cut your ass all the fuck the way down. And I don't think it was his character because he did cut up the check. Suzanne, what do you think?
Well, that was my thing. Like, I didn't see any point where Ty actually tried to really talk to him and see what was really going on. I mean, and it was clear when he was like, all right, fucking thing. Yeah, this is about money. So, I just kind of, I did like that scene. I never really paid Brandon that much attention, and I knew when I saw the paper check, he was gonna rip it up. I said, "Oh, he gonna rip that shit up." Like,
And Ty had a 5-some.
She had a
Ty.
oh,
She had a was it 5 or 6?
It was a lot of bitches.
it was
Ty.
Ty.
I was like,
But I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not trying to bring up Camille again, but
Don't do it.
what
Don't
is
do it.
this like waking up? Like, what happened? Like, how do you? What is in the water in this New York
I've
shit?
never
Y'all
been
bitches-
that
maybe they're
fucking
doing
wasted.
maybe they're roofing each other.
Maybe.
I mean, is that what happens? I've only had my husband, so
I
don't
know.
You're right.
I don't know.
Is that how that
I
goes
can't
down in the
relate.
street?
Can you explain to me? Does this happen in relationships?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
know.
definitely interesting. I've never been that wasted.
I
Where
don't
I'm
know.
like,
Well,
People
I
are
have
partying real
been
crazy.
I've been blacked out drunk many times. Not my problem is I black out before I get drunk or before I know I'm drunk. And so I can be like, okay, let me stop, bitch, because you're drunk. You don't need to drink anymore. I black out and then I don't remember what the fuck happened. So maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental. However, I'm just saying that but what's never happened is I've never, to my knowledge, been involved in sexual relations and not remembered it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that in the same episode, 2 bitches are like, what have I done? Like, what the fuck are you bitches doing? Like, seriously. So, anyways, oh wow.
And and I
It's a lot
honestly,
going on.
when Ty needed to take the shot and she asked the first girl, and the girl was like, "This sounds personal," I like that.
Zoe is on brand.
She ain't playing with you. She's like, that sounds personal. We don't do personal. So I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm about to bounce. Like, that's how you're supposed to do it. Like, being completely honest and straightforward. Like, you know what this is, girl. I'm not sticking you with no needle. Are you kidding?
Man, the nurse in me was like, girl, that is not no sub-Q needle. That shit is too long. What are you doing? That goes in your thigh. But I'm glad she went through with it and Brandon helped her.
I will say, before we get to the Brandon part, I agree with Karina. The whole pep talk that she gave herself, and then she was like, bitch, you didn't do it. Like, can we just take a moment? Hey Brandy, thank you. Can we just take a moment and just talk about how fucking fabulous Ty is? Like, she is the moment. Like, Angie's my favorite, but like Ty is like really, really close second.
Yeah.
First of all, her tone, like, it reminds me of her voice kind of sounds like Amira Van to me, but the tone of her voice is just perfection. And then the whole going back to the beginning where Quinn's bitch mom told them that they looked casual. She was like, she's like, this is Alexander McQueen. She's fucking fabulous. She's amazing. She's everything. And I like how, I mean, yes, she's wrapped up in herself. I think all of us, in some degree, this is the economist in me. It's rational to be selfish. It is. That's just rational behavior. And then like it's irrational for us to be anything other than selfish. That's just an economic like theory. But I love that even though she can get wrapped up in herself, she does pick up on cues of like, hey, something's not right there. Hey, something's not right there. You know, she was really trying to, she was picking up that something wasn't right with Quinn. And even though she absolutely the fuck did not want to do the pride thing, like she went along with it. But she was going through her own shit. I'm sorry. If I'm losing $1 million, the world stops for me. Like, nothing else is more important than the fact that I'm about to be half broke. The fuck. So like, I definitely feel like she shows up for people.
Unlike Camille, who has absolutely nothing that fucking detrimental going on in her pitiful ass life, but always flakes the fuck out on everybody or makes it about her. I gotta go. Like, yeah, bitch, you've been gone by. Thank you for leaving the scene. Yeah, and to that point as well, I would love for them to give more, because the shows are like 36 minutes or something like that. I'm
they're
like,
so short.
they're so short. I'm like, cause y'all please give more time to everybody else and not make it so Camille centered where we're having to suffer through Camille to see Ty, how you said Reese's picking up on something's not right with Quinn. Let me keep following this. Is this through the party she had going on, about to be lose that money, all of that, she's still showing up for her friend.
But I also liked, I mean, at the party, she was being a bitch to those people, like that, the couple that came up to her. I was like, oh, Ty, that's not cute. Like, you don't have to be a fucking bitch to these people. But she did, like, when the woman, like, took control and took the mic away, and she saw the impact that she was having. I love that,
I like that
you
scene.
know, yeah,
Mhm.
it was so powerful because
Sweet.
we do things and we don't realize how we're impacting people. Sometimes, like, and I'm not trying to make this about myself, but I'm just saying, like, I go through my life and my life is just the same as it's always been. There's nothing different about my life. But then when I'm out on occasion, somebody recognizes me, they're like, oh my God, you did da 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 da. And I'm like, it just takes me aback because I'm like, for me, nothing has changed at all. But for other people, they see me and it means something to them. And so for for Camille, Ty, I can understand how she's so caught up in a very big deal, which is losing $1 million, that she's not necessarily putting in perspective, like, hey, you know, this app is meaningful for people, not just hooking up, like what I've been doing off of it, but for actually building relationships. And it's serving a community, because remember the whole point was that it was a black centered or, you know, melanin centered app. And so I love that she had that moment to kind of like remind her who she was, you know, and her impact.
And I think that whole conversation that not conversation, but speech that one woman gave, I think that really was a push for her to tell Brandon about himself, you know, because she really was like, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You don't need to hear anything from me. Like, we don't need to talk. You took my money. We're good. But I think her really getting that confidence back, like, I'm out here changing the world for real. And you know, you clearly got some shit you need to be focused on rather than coming at me like, why are you still so thirsty for me? It's been this many years. So I think it was definitely like, you know, you don't, even when you go out, like I go out and volunteer and I may not see my impact right then, right there, you know, but then later on, it's like, I know that I helped a mom get diapers for her baby, you know, just those little things that you can do. So for her to have that party and to really see how she inspires and bring people together, and you're just creating love in the world, girl, you gotta get your money back. Cuss his ass out. Like, you are better than what the fuck he came in the door talking about. For sure. Yeah,
I like that she reclaimed that, because it really disappointed me how much to heart she took that, you know, that feedback. So I'm glad that she took self-inventory, which is incredibly important. But she still came to the conclusion, like, all things considered, I'm still the shit. Fuck you. You're the one who has the problem.
Yeah.
But I do like that Brandon, like, even though he probably knew he was gonna get cussed out. I like that he was persistent in showing up and trying to have that conversation. Like, it's what he needed to do, and it was what they both needed to do. So I do appreciate that this show gave that moment, because I think it would have been a pity if it would have just been left at like, she's shit out of fucking $1 million, you know.
Yeah.
Karina says feedback on Ian and Jameson's exchange, or did I mess that? We didn't really have much to say about it. Basically, yeah, we didn't really have much on it. Fuck Camille.
Quinn was giving signs that something was wrong with her. She was too all over the place. One moment she's like, "Oh, I'm part of the community and I got this colorful wig on and I'm ready to go out and party," and then the next moment she's in a midst of sadness and she getting ready to say something. She was giving out a lot of signs.
Yeah, I mean, she is clearly like depressed, right? I mean, I don't know. That was obvious, right? But I mean, it was obvious to us as the viewer. Now, Erica, you tell me your thoughts on this, because I was thinking, like, okay, rational thinking, right? People can't show up for you if you don't communicate. And if people are asking you, like, what's wrong? Like, is everything okay? And you continue to say nothing, or you don't want to open up, like, how can people be there for you? How can people show up for you? But Erica, I know one of the things that you really specialize in is, you know, mental health and people who experience, you know, challenges with that. So what is your perspective? Enlighten us. Like, is that, I mean, obviously we give our friends grace, but I don't know. I feel like, you know, people are really trying to help you, but you're not responding. So I mean, she never like blamed them. She never like was like, nobody's here for me, woe is me. But what did you think about that?
I will say, first of all, I like that they took time to take everybody through what some of these things may look like. And so when they showed her with the shower running and her sitting by the shower, like a lot of that resonated because I am super hygienic, but some telltale signs for me, like if I start drinking Cokes, because I like live on water, like that's pretty much all I drink. But like there's certain things if I start doing, like I'm, taking baths 2 times a day, like if I'm not doing those hygienic things, then those are signs. So I like that they took the viewer through things like this woman is a pretty hygienic person. She's not taking a shower. And then they show like how she was in the bed. Fabulous bed, by the way, but they showed she was in the bed and how it was just a real struggle for her to get up. And I think that some of those things that they showed probably did resonate with other people, even if they don't have a diagnosis, because they're people that we all, to some degree experience seasonal depression. So to your question around how can people be there for you if there's not really a runway to do that. I think like what the friends were doing, which was asking the questions, but then giving space as well too. So even when she went to her shop and, she looked a bit disheveled in her appearance, there's that kind of self-sabotage going on, fuck it, I really don't care. Like those are all real things that people do experience, again, with or without a diagnosis. So when you have a friend, like I was actually, and I'll just kind of make it ambiguous. There was someone that I was speaking with, and they were saying some things to me that were like red flags. However, there's nothing I can do. There's not someone I can call to say, you need to go and check on them. As a friend group, we all know that there's something happening. But what we're doing is texting, I love you, calling, hey, let's fall asleep on the phone tonight, things like that. But also saying, here are these, and I noticed they put the 988 number and then the chat line up as well, letting them know these are numbers as well. So, there's nothing that a person can do until a person opens the door. But as friends, being as present as that person does allow you to. And sometimes it's just through texting communication, by letting, if they want to talk about crazy shit, like let them talk about crazy shit, because at least they're talking. If they don't want to, have you come around, that's understandable for them as well too. But knowing that there are people that actually do care, it does in fact carry weight. So I really appreciated them walking us through what, again, I would say as a community, we've said, well, a person feels a way, they're having a bad day, when it's very, it looks like to me that there's something that perhaps she needs to go and see a practitioner and talk through about, because it could be chemical, or it may be seasonal, or it could be something that can be addressed through therapy and medication. But because we don't really get to see that, from Black people, that usually is self-medicating. But I like that we were able to get a real view into what sometimes are real red flags in when people are not well and they themselves don't feel comfortable or know how to communicate that. Because, and I'll say this and shut up, but as a community, it's always been like, just deal with that shit, right? But not by yourself. So ask for help. Yeah. So I think it's opening the door. We're kicking the door open on us as individuals, as a community, asking for help.
I appreciate that, because I'm like a solver, and I'm like, when like for me, I'm like, okay, well, you're presenting an issue. Well, this is a potential way of looking at it, or looking like this, or this is something else to consider, and I'm very guilty of that. I don't think I would do that if I knew somebody was like depressed or anything, but I think that sometimes people might have a tendency to be like, well, they're going through something. I don't have none for them. That's what they want to deal with. I'm gonna let them deal with it. And because somebody's going through something, you don't necessarily feel comfortable just showing up for them in the way you normally would if they weren't going through something. Like, hey, did you see such and such? Did you talk about this and kiki and talk about stuff? So I'm glad that you offer that perspective so that, you at least now I know I will, if I have a situation like this, I will continue to just be like, okay, understandable. You don't want to talk about this, but I would just be concerned, like, okay, does it seem insensitive if like somebody is clearly going through something and I'm talking about like Basketball Wives or like Real Housewives of Potomac, or is that something that like, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't know the
engaged. No, just as long as it keeps the person engaged. And
Okay.
for some people, it's just going to take a while for them to actually move through the process of like getting help. So no, whatever makes them feel good, you like it, I love it. As long as they're engaged, as long as they're still in the land of the living, good thing.
Okay, that's good to know. Ashley, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think Erica did a great job.
Yeah, for real.
For me, I do like that they're being responsible with this topic, because Black women and mental health, Black community and mental health is one of those subjects that you still have a lot of people that are in that mindset. Where Reese go?
I don't know. It's just us. Hey, we were
You're
the host.
No, I'm still here, but my shit was flashing. I was like, well, let me try to like unflash my shit for a second.
Girl, we almost took over your show.
I'm back, bitches, and my stuff isn't flashing anymore. But I can't depend on y'all to just keep it moving without missing the beat.
Okay, we was talking about something serious. Come on, Ashley.
Oh yeah. I like that they're being responsible though. Like they're showing the different stages and the different looks of just depression. Because when you get into that mental state, for instance, her going into work and then completely going off on this white bitch, which clearly was warranted, right?
No,
she provoked him, but her going into work and just like, I can't do this. That's what happens. Sometimes you go in and you're just like in that state where I can't do this anymore. So I really like that they're showing different versions of what depression can look like for everybody, but what it can look like over a phase of depression. It comes in different waves. One moment you can be happy, and one moment you think one thought, and you back into that mental space of I need my sweats on, I need to be in bed, I'm not going nowhere, I need this cover over me. So I really am enjoying that they're being responsible with this topic. And for me, I agree with Erica. When you're having a conversation with someone that was probably struggling with something, but they just want to shoot the shit, that 5-10 minutes of conversation could really bring light to their life. That small conversation of Basketball Wives could pull them or be a step towards coming out of that depression. So yeah, just making sure that people know that you're available for them when they do need you. And I really, really loved how Quinn finally said what was wrong with her, right? And none of her friends made her feel bad for how she been acting. Nobody was like, well, dang, girl, you didn't have to act like that with me, and got in her ass about it. They were just like, I think Angie mentioned something a little bit, but it was more so the conversation of, girl, we are here for you. What do you need? Like, I got your back. And that's exactly how it should be. When your friend opens up to you, and them going on a trip, they going to Puerto Rico, so it's gonna be an ass trip.
It's gonna be fun.
That's like, let's go to Palm Beach, Florida. Like,
y'all already copping the $2.
They going to Orlando.
Let's go to Orlando.
All them toes, girl. Good. But
I just hope that since they're doing such a great job with representing mental health and how to deal with it, that they don't make it seem like you can go on a trip and your whole life is back to normal, because that's not what it is. It's clear that Queen has generational trauma, especially from her mom, that she needs to deal with. So I really hope that they show her in a therapist's office. Take it all the way. She clearly is having something. Take it all the way and show that she's in the therapist's office getting help. I think that's a great way to wrap it up, and not just let them go on this trip and all of a sudden Quinn is over all her shit, because that's not reality.
But I don't know, like, to be fair, and you got and Erica and Ashley, you can check me on this, but not everybody is like full on like depressed, like clinical, like need medication. Sometimes you just need a refresh. Like I remember I was at a phase years ago where maybe I was depressed. I don't know, or maybe I had depressed symptoms, and I went on a trip and I did feel better. Now I don't know if I was cured.
When was this?
2014, maybe, I don't know.
But
But
we live in Chicago.
yeah, we lived in
Yeah,
Chicago.
that was depressed. It
You
was
had
not-
seasonal depression for sure.
I definitely probably suffer from seasonal depression because Chicago was fucking terrible. I mean, nobody told me. Like, I get the cold, but like, it's fucking gloomy as shit for 10 months out of the year. It's like, this is okay, maybe not 10, but like 8 months out of the year. It's fucking horrible.
You got to do the light therapy. Yeah, light therapy.
I didn't do all that. But
Mhm.
anyway, so I went on a trip, and it was actually one of my best friends, her wedding trip. It was a destination wedding, and I was like by myself for a good portion of the trip, and I was just reflecting and doing shit, and I did feel better. I don't know if I was cured, but I definitely felt better. I took the time I needed. I felt a little more refreshed, and so sometimes a trip can help.
Yeah, it can help. But with Quinn and what she's going through and what they've expressed with her so far,
It seems like it's deeper.
A lot deeper.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. The way her mom acts, and told her about moving and not giving her a hug till next week. Oh, that
Yeah,
alone
that's
you
a
need to be
problem.
in therapy for, because you clearly have some level of intimacy issues, right? Or you have some issues with relationships in general. Isabella shouldn't have been able to knock her off her socks this way. They only kicked it a couple of times. So
Yeah.
they definitely, if they make it seem like everything is okay after this trip, yes, things can be better than what it was. But it can also be great if she just takes a moment and goes to therapy.
Well, I like that. But I also like that she said it was about everything and nothing at the same time. Because my feedback last week was like, bitch, what's the problem? Like, what is even going on? But the reality is sometimes it's nothing, sometimes it's everything. Sometimes, I mean, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be like my life is in shambles. Like it can happen to anybody. So I do like that that they did explore that. Season, before you comment, Brown and Pretty says, thank you, Reese and Erica, for talking about mental health and stroke and brain injuries on your show. I'm a stroke survivor.
Oh,
Brown and Pretty girl.
Love you.
And your icons show you are brown and pretty, girl.
Yes, we all like.
We all know too much. Wait, I hope my filter
So
didn't come
glad
out. I
you're
saw
here.
like my real skin for a second.
Oh no, Reese.
Stay in my frame. Yeah, no, thank you for. I love when people watch or listen to the show. It just like so good.
Every Saturday, 3 to 4. Eastern
Yes,
Time.
I haven't been plugging my
review
phone.
126.
Blah, blah, blah,
You need to
blah,
have
blah.
that on the ticker for next time.
I should have another ticker, huh? Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, but thank you for listening to the show. It's every show is like my little baby, and every show has been different. This Saturday, I'm gonna have Congresswoman Chantel Brown. She represents Ohio. Yes.
I love
So,
her.
we're going to talk about East Palestine. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm so confused because it's so many mixed messages. And, Black people are natural conspiratorial. So I'm like, okay, let's get to the bottom of what the hell is happening, okay?
The facts. Please.
Please, let's just straighten this out. So she's going to be on Saturday. So anyways, okay. Season, you are the nurse. You have dealt with a lot of, different things. So your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching today. I was watching the episodes today. Like, damn, Quinn, what is wrong, girl? But then you have to really sit back and remember, like, it can be a number of things just adding on to one, and they just like all pile on at one time. And I've been in therapy several times. At this point, I've had my current therapist for over 2 years, as she helped me get through my fertility issues and IVF and having my daughter and all that. But it's easy to wake up and just have that monkey on your back after a couple of small loses, and then your friends. Like, I'm that type where I don't like to burden people like, oh, you guys hear me complain about this all the time, or I don't even feel like bothering nobody with this kind of stuff. But then I'm that listener, so it's kind of like I always want people to come to me. I never want them to feel any type of way.
Mhm.
So you do have it is a delicate dance. Like, do you give this friend space, or are you a little bit more persistent? Do you just cut the shit and be like, bitch, you need fucking therapy? Which that's what Ashley for. Like, now you need therapy, right? We can talk, but at the end of this conversation, you need a fucking therapist. So, I definitely like seeing. I definitely have to give Harlem their credit for all of the things that they address, and I just hope Quinn gets it together. And I'm always. Sometimes I hate watching TV because I'll be focusing on the wrong shit. Like, man, okay, well, how long has this been going on?
Yeah.
But she may just need a reset, which is what she said. I need a reset. I need to get away from my life for a few days, whatever. And so she, I hope if the girl trip is what she needs, I hope we get to see Quinn on the up and up on the other end. But I wouldn't mind seeing her in therapy either, because let me tell y'all something. Them children of Caribbean parents
are something else.
They something else.
Okay. Something
else. Because I'm gonna leave it at that. But then my heart go out, because I know us Black people, we be going through shit with our parents, but them children in the Caribbean, and they go through a lot.
They got it.
So I don't want it to, if it's gonna be some cute little ribbon that they put on this to tie this whole thing up, okay, fine, so be it. It's a TV show. At least they brought it up. At least they addressed it and brought it up, and showed us what steps someone can go through. But she got a lot going on. For sure. She got more to the eye can see going on. There's a lot going on with her.
But I will say, I do think that it is important to listen and to feel like you are listened to. Like, for me, what really helps me is when people respond in depth to what I'm saying. Like, I have one of my best friends. We talk on Marco Polo, and I'll leave her a video. I'm in a couple Marco Polo things. One of my girlfriends, I love them to death. But I can leave a 5-minute video and I will get like a 3-second response, like, "Oh, okay, Reese, that was cool," and then it's on to whatever they was talking about. I was like, okay, so fuck everything I just said. But with my other girlfriend, it's like, if I leave a video, she's gonna respond point by point to everything that I said, and going to give feedback, whether it's positive. It's she's very encouraging, so it's not like, bitch, what the fuck, and I don't feel like I do stuff that's wrong, so she doesn't really need to
it runs in the family. Me and Reese be like, you're not wrong.
I don't know,
never wrong.
I can't recall a time that I've been wrong. Like, so I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, but you would have to refresh my recollection. You'd have to be like, Reese, we were wrong about that.
Same. Me and Reese are terrible to talk to when someone's mad at us. Yeah, bitch, fuck that. You is not wrong. We're terrible.
No, exactly. I've already said my toxic trait is I don't believe in apologies. So, but anyways, but that's okay. Like, I confess that. Don't expect it from me. I'm not going to expect it from you, and I'm not going to encourage you to apologize to people either. So, but the moral of the fucking story is that with her, and this has been going on for 3 years now, or actually probably longer than that, since the pandemic, and she will respond point by point to everything I say. I will respond point to point to everything she's saying. We take notes and then we respond, and it just feels so good because, and I have a lot of people to talk to, Season being one of them, obviously, but you know, and the fact that it's like I leave a message for her and then she comes back and responds. She leaves a message for me, I come back and respond, as opposed to a live conversation. You really get to feel heard. And that's important for me because I don't like it when I'm talking and I feel like you're just brushing me off. Like you don't fucking care about what I'm talking about. Like this is important to me. So I think it's important to have that. Some people have it in a therapist, some people have it in friends, or some people have it in both. So that was just that's my whole thing. But Karina says, I started therapy last year, but my therapist canceled on me a couple of times and it made me shut down trying to open it back up again, but it's hard.
It's hard finding a good therapist, but I'll say this. I found mine and me and Keisha Johnson, girl. I don't know where city you in, but Keisha Johnson is in Texas. She is amazing. She is with me and like 7 of my friends now because I refer her to everybody. And if once you find that therapist, it's easy. It becomes so easy to open up. But a Black female therapist will change your life. I would not be who I am or where I am. I say it all the time. I feel like my mom gave me my foundation and Keisha helped me build on it. So yes, once you feel ready, go back into therapy. It will be a lifesaver for sure. Dr. Keisha Johnson, girl.
I love that. I love that. So Karina, thank you for sharing that, you know, definitely holding space for you. And I'm so sorry that you had to feel a human fail you at that level. And there are other people that can fill that space. And so you just heard from Ashley, Dr. Keisha Johnson. Maybe we can get her contact information. Okay, great. She said she wrote it down. Great. So praying that definitely works for you. But yeah, it's really hard when we're disappointed by people that we're reaching out to. But I hope that the same way we did, like when we were babies and toddlers, like when we reached our arms and sometimes we got the attention, sometimes we didn't, that's something that we continue to practice as adults, that we keep reaching out, that we keep, we understand disappointment happens, but we don't stop reaching out and asking for help. So thank you for sharing that. That was so deeply personal.
Yeah.
And even myself, I'm not going to say me and my therapist had a rocky start, but there were times where she would forget about an appointment that we had, or Houston. You know, therapists, they're people too, and sometimes if you felt like you already made that connection with her, then you can be transparent with her too and be like, this is making me close up and not want to share. But if you've already moved on in the future, you know, I hope that it's definitely more consistent for you and you're just able to open up. And if you're in Georgia, my therapist, she is Sheree Williams. And she is the bomb. She by Sheree. That's what me and my girls got her.
But Season, you do virtual appointments.
Yeah.
My
all of these therapists now do. Does Zoom. All of these therapists do Zoom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would not suggest BetterHelp. That, to me, my personal opinion is that they do not. They provide cookie cutter therapy. So finding someone that's in your network, for your insurance would probably be the best look for you. But honestly, it's really like shopping for a car, kind of. You know, if the first one don't work, you have all right to go to someone else that you feel comfortable. It is your session. It is your therapy. Tailor it for you. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, girl. For real, that you trust us with that information.
So, Karina, send me an email, contact@blackwomenviews.com, and I will. Season and Ashley are going to give me their information. And Erica, if you have anybody you want to recommend too, and I will just reply and I will pass along their people, because like they just said, they're not. You don't have to be in person anymore. You can, so as long as that person, you know, if it's a network thing or whatever the situation may be, these are, you know, very effective, highly recommended people. So don't be shy, Karina.
Don't be shy, girl. I'll give you my information too.
Yay, Karina. Yeah.
Oh, what a good read.
I know, that was so sweet.
We not on here just talking shit about Camille, baby.
Oh, we ain't just saying niggas ain't shit.
Honestly, this is so perfect. And Karina says she's getting emotional. You know, I really like, honestly, when I created Black Women Views, I wanted a community of, particularly for Black women, where we can come in and all of us have our own unique personalities, as y'all can see. We have our own different takes on things, as y'all can see. But I love that we can come together in a fun and lighthearted way. And sometimes it gets heavy, sometimes it gets deep. But this really is a space for us to commune. And like, you know, Erica and I, we're on every Thursday talking about shit on Rolling and you know, heavy stuff. And then we have my show, you know, where we talk about a variety of stuff. And then we have these recaps. And so it's like, there's so much more to us that we can do it all. We can talk about it all and we can come together in a no judgment zone. And so Karina, thank you.
With resources. We all are
yes.
platform and we all have resources. So please do not hesitate to ask. That's all it takes is you asking.
Absolutely.
And that's why I was talking about that asking for help piece.
Yes.
Like that literally is one of the keys. That's one of the secret sauces, like asking for help. So that's why I said you're so brave and courageous. And thank you for trusting us with sharing that. And then out of that comes this wealth of information. So thank you.
Okay, let me put it in I'll put it in here. Let's see, it's contact@Black Women Views. I'm gonna put it in here. Hopefully we'll see if it's going through.
And if Reese's not available, I'm hosting next week, so I can reply.
You ain't hosting this.
Trying to take over my show. Okay.
Available, you can
Really,
Ashley at Black Women Views.
This girl is crazy. What's wrong with her?
Not Ashley giving herself a whole ass email.
I'm just trying to be here for the people, okay? I'm just trying to be here for the people.
Yeah, Reese, what's up with our email?
I know. What if you want to send me fan mail or something?
Yeah, like I can't be seasoned at Black Women. No, I'm just kidding.
If y'all get an email, I'm putting y'all to work, okay? Y'all gonna be my interns.
Y'all crazy.
Well, look, ladies, we covered so much ground. I love ending on a high note. I'm so glad that Harlem has done this serial release as opposed to like an all encompassing thing. I love to be able to experience this every week. We have to find another show.
Yes.
Already. We have to find another show. I don't know if you guys watch Bel Air. Bel Air is coming back.
Okay. I hear season 1 was excellent. So
I loved it. Okay. You guys didn't watch it?
No.
I saw some of it.
You weren't season didn't feel in it.
No, I did like it. I just didn't have the streaming service.
Okay.
So I didn't keep up with it. But I saw a couple episodes. Yeah.
It was really good. But
when does the new season start?
It starts in a couple of weeks. Wait, something is coming back next week. Snowfall. Do you guys watch Snowfall?
I'm down for it. We could do a Snowfall recap.
No,
because we don't ever do anything like that. We missed P Valley.
we did miss P Valley. They're supposed to start Okay. I don't know. We need everybody on board.
Okay, Snowfall is so good, y'all.
Snowfall is so good. But I don't know if they haven't watched it. I mean, it's season 6. Like that's a lot to like catch up on.
Okay.
And I don't think you can start now.
I'll get on Wikipedia and read about the previous.
Okay, what about Power? Ghost 2 has Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, I could do that. It's only 1 season, 2 seasons.
No.
I watched the first season, y'all. It's too much for me.
It's not Power. It's not Power. It's Ghost. It has Method Man. It has Mary J.
Yeah, I saw it. I know.
Okay, so we might be on hiatus until Run the World. We at least have to do Run the World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we can at least do Run the World, but that's starting in May, so we're going to be on hiatus. But Bel Air, if you guys, we'll talk about it offline and figure out what we're going to do next. We got Run the World. Bel-Air. I think Bel-Air is fun because I think Bel-Air is interesting because it has like, I mean, it's a dramatic take on Fresh Prince, but I like that it has like, it's multi-generational. You know, Uncle Phil's a politician. Viv is an artist, a retired artist. Like there's a lot that's happening in there that I think might be interesting for us to cover. So something to consider.
And what season are they on Bel-Air?
This is just the second season. The second season is starting.
And I think the first season was only 10, maybe 12 episodes.
I don't even think it was 12. No, it wasn't that long.
Yeah, it wasn't that many at all.
Okay.
Bel-Air is back on the 23rd. Okay.
Dang, that's
I was pushing back
2
on
days.
Bel-Air, big deal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we might have to do like the first like 4 episodes of Bel-Air because right now it's still all about Harlem. And then like after that, maybe we can consider doing Bel-Air. So yeah. Okay, y'all. It's been fun. Thank you all. We'll see you back. So should we do Tuesday or Wednesday next week? Which one would you guys prefer?
I'm good on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. Okay, Tuesdays. All right, so we'll see y'all back next Tuesday for the finale. Don't expect us to talk about Camille, though. Camille is done. We are done with her.
Unless she's pregnant, we gotta run her down.
For 30 minutes.
Yeah, we spent 30 minutes going in on Camille. We're done with her. But everybody else will talk about.
We probably gonna end up dragging Camille.
No, you guys are gonna have to tell me what happened. I'm fast forwarding Camille. I'm done with her. I'm serious.
All right.
But yeah,
we're gonna see.
All right, y'all.
Ready for Camille's baby shower.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.